Hello and welcome to the Powerboost meditation. Today, let us experiment with the theme flying over your weaknesses. Flying over your weaknesses. We all have one or the other weakness. It could be overthinking, it could be laziness, it could be carelessness, it could be anything. And sometimes this weakness comes in the way of our experiencing our true self. When we realize that these weaknesses are nothing but projections of our old self, projections of the role consciousness, all projections of the impressions that we have ingrained in us when we have performed actions in a state of body consciousness or role consciousness. An easy way to not be influenced by these weaknesses and thereby not allowing them to be an obstacle in our experience of the truth is just to fly over the weaknesses. Just when we fly over something, it just appears to be tiny, it appears to be insignificant, it appears to be very small. And so it doesn't have that much influence on us. The same way, when I realize that the weaknesses, the defects are all part of the role, are all part of the story. It's not denying their existence, but it's realizing the truth. And in that realization, when I disconnect from owning my weaknesses, I can then connect back to the truth, the self, and then I can fly over those weaknesses. And when I fly over those weaknesses, then they seem to have less and less impact on the mind. And then I can go back, connect to my truth, connect to the source, empower the self. And when the soul is empowered, then automatically the soul performs actions in soul consciousness, and automatically the positive cycle starts. And the more I stay in this awareness of flying over the weaknesses, it's not just that I become less and less judgmental about myself, I also become less and less critical about others. And so it's easy then to see others as spiritual beings, as souls, children of the divine, beyond their weaknesses that every soul may have accumulated on their journey through time. And that's the vision of the divine, not to see any weakness, but just to see past through any defects, weaknesses, and to see the reality, the truth, the diamond, the jewel within. And because the divine has that capacity, that's why the divine can easily stay detached and unconditionally loving. So the more we experience that state of mind of beyond weaknesses, we can experience being completely detached and unconditionally loving. And that allows us to experience the richness, the fullness of life. And then the beauty, the inherent goodness of the soul is expressed in every action and interaction. So let us experiment with these thoughts for a few minutes as we sit comfortably and relax ourselves, we realize that weaknesses are all that nothing but projections of the old self, the role self, the real self. I realize that I, the being, the soul, I am much more than what lies just as a part of my eternal journey. I realize that I am a being of light, a soul, on a journey through time, through different characters and roles and different experiences. In this realization, I take the flight above the weaknesses. I fly over all the past weaknesses. I allow everything of the story world to simply fade away into a distance. It allows me to come back to my truth, come back to my reality of being a tiny star, a soul, a pure presence, a child of the divine. Eternally safe, eternally loved, eternally protected. I allow these experiences of eternal truth to naturally calm myself. And I become aware of the most beautiful being. I become aware of the being who never judges, never looks at any weakness, the being who connects with me as I am who I am. I begin to experience the presence of the divine. The vision of the divine pierces through the different layers of false identities that have accumulated over many, many years to the core, to the truth of my being. I allow the light of the divine to shine. The divine sees me in my reality, in my truth. And I experience just being held in the eternal company, eternal presence of the divine. Completely detached from the story world and being unconditionally loved by the divine. I, the being, the soul, in the presence of the divine, my eternal companion. Everything else is just a story. I experience being saturated by God's pure love, which gives me the strength to fly above all the weaknesses and to experience the unlimited. I begin to see every soul as a pure and innocent being of light, completely merged in true love. And as I gently return back to the world of sound and the world of actions, I realize my truth of being beyond and looking at everyone in their pure, innocent form. I connect to myself and to everyone above and beyond any weakness. And this emerges the pure potential, the best in myself and others. As I act and interact in this physical dimension, I maintain this elevated vision. I absorb God's love and flying over the weaknesses. Om Shanti.